The meetings with Iranian this Sunday?
We've had that question before. Certainly last week we addressed it. I have no specifics for you about what is occurring, and I can't confirm what will occur. But as soon as we do, and if we do, you will hear it right from this podium.
No meetings
All right, yes,
scheduled
sir.
so far.
The State Department has no higher priority than ensuring the safety and security of Americans, whether at home or abroad. To that end, President Trump has made it a priority to bring home Americans unjustly detained overseas. Yesterday, Secretary Rubio joined President Trump in welcoming home Ksenia Karolina to the Oval Office, who was wrongfully detained in Russia for over a year. In his first 100 days, the 47th president has secured the release of 47 unjustly held Americans. No administration has worked so hard or so quickly to bring home U.S. citizens imprisoned abroad. That is because of the leadership of President Trump, and we are committed to bringing home every single American who is wrongfully detained around the world. Secretary Rubio also joined President Trump in the Oval Office today for a meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister. During the meeting, Prime Minister Carney described his intention to increase Canada's defense spending, exceeding President Trump's leadership there and the demand of what he was looking for. 9 years ago, most NATO allies were nowhere near spending 2%. Today, allies agreed that they must increase their defense spending, and every week more are announcing the increase, 18 countries, in fact, since the November election. Let's see here. We've got now something very important I think most of you have heard about, certainly through the president as well. The president also announced in this meeting that the Houthis have capitulated following the administration's strikes. In the president's words, the Houthis have announced that they don't want to fight anymore. They just don't want to fight, and we will honor that, and we will stop the bombings. They say that they will not be blowing up ships anymore. As Secretary Rubio explained, this was always a freedom of navigation issue. These are a band of individuals with advanced weaponry that were threatening global shipping, and the job was to get that to stop. And if it's going to stop, then we can stop. There is also something now retweeted by Ambassador Witkoff's X account, I believe, noting that following recent discussions and contacts conducted by the Sultanate of Oman with the United States and the relevant authorities in Sana'a, in the Republic of Yemen, with the aim of de-escalation, efforts have resulted in a ceasefire agreement between the two sides. So that's always a good thing. Now, in another important announcement, Secretary Rubio has decided to merge the responsibilities of the Office of the Palestinian Affairs Office fully into other sections of the United States Embassy in Jerusalem. This decision will restore the first Trump term framework of a unified U.S. diplomatic mission in Israel's capital that reports to the U.S. ambassador to Israel. Ambassador Huckabee will take the steps necessary to implement the merger over the coming weeks. The United States remains committed to its historic relationship with Israel, bolstering Israel's security and securing peace to create a better life for the entire region. And now I will take your questions. Daphne.
Thank you. On the ceasefire deal with the Houthis, could you give a sense of how the State Department was involved in this? What did U.S. engagement with Oman and the Houthis look like on this?
Well, we've got some details. Again, I've noted to you what the Omanis have messaged, again, retweeted by Ambassador Witkoff. I can read you a little bit more here as well that gives you a few more details. In the future, they note, neither side will target the other, including American vessels in the Red Sea and the Bab el-Mandab Strait, ensuring freedom of navigation and the smooth flow of international commercial shipping. The Sultanate of Oman expresses its gratitude to both parties and their constructive approach that led to this welcome outcome, and hopes that it will lead to further progress on many regional issues toward achieving justice. So at that point, though, there's more that obviously you want to hear about, obviously some of the details, and I would expect I'll have more for that on that for you probably on Thursday's briefing. We'll look for it there. Andrea.
Thank you. Can I follow up on that, please?
Sure, of course.
Does this ceasefire also extend to the Houthis not attacking Israel, and Israel not attacking the Houthis as they have just today in retaliation for the attack by the Houthis against the area near Ben Gurion just a few days ago.
Well, and just looking at the president's remarks, looking at this particular message from the Omanis, this is about the Red Sea, the attacking of ships, and the nature of the action that the United States had taken, making it very clear at the time that this was not going to be a pinprick operation, that we were going to continue this operation until the Houthis stopped attacking shipping in that framework. That is what I've seen here, and that's all I can remark on.
And Ambassador Witkoff said last night at the Israeli Independence Day celebration that very, very shortly there would be announcements on expansion of the Abraham Accords. The president also today said that there would be a big announcement next week that was very positive, but that he was just, my word, sort of teasing about it. But
I think it'd be a classic, with talking about something before it lands without, giving too many details. That is certainly, of course, my situation here as well. But when the president says there's going to be a big announcement, I would take him seriously. And he would, of course, I think, put it that way in the fact that it's very good news for people.
And what about Ambassador Witkoff saying very, very shortly there would be an expansion of the Abraham Accords?
Well, I will wait for the secretary when it comes to the details of what's going to be described and announced in that regard. Of course, we know of the importance of the Abraham Accords, starting with the success in the first Trump term and what that meant for the region, something that no one ever thought would occur. Once again, Trump has a tendency to accomplish those kinds of things that make a huge difference for a long time. So I have nothing to report for you right now, but clearly it appears as though I will later on in the week.
Thank you very much. On March 8th, you ended the waiver that allowed Iraq to import electricity from Iran, but Iran continues to import electricity to Iraq. What is your comment on this?
Well, as part of the maximum pressure campaign, the waiver for, you're right, for Iraq to import Iranian electricity was not renewed last month, March of 2025. The government of Iraq is taking steps to secure alternate sources of electricity, including through expanding gas capture and increasing imports from other neighboring countries. Some of these efforts are directly benefiting U.S. companies, including the recent signing of memorandums of understanding with UGT Renewables and GE Vernova. And of course, we continue to support all of all of the Iraqis' efforts to end their energy reliance on Iran.
Thank you.
We'll move on.
Do you confirm that there is a meeting with Iranian this Sunday? This is the first. And the second one, is there any connection between the Houthi ceasefire and your diplomatic engagement with Iran?
This is the Houthi dynamic and other things that are unfolding. We have news every day, fortunately, much good news. And this has been a commitment from day one, right? From the moment and before, certainly back to his first term, what President Trump has been interested in. So while we're going to have all kinds of things that might happen at the same time, it's important to not conflate them. That we have results of things that have been worked on for weeks and months that are now coming to fruition. Also, the president's interest in, as an example, the aid to Gaza and his personal involvement and commitment to having that get resolved is something that does make things move faster, but everything his administration does is fast moving. So I would say that is to be cautious in the fact that we're looking at the development of things that are important, but have been in the works for a long time and are not tied to a certain development or linked to one thing or another. But you're going to have things happen at the same time when you've got a singular region, multiple issues happening, multiple negotiations, multiple efforts for ceasefires. Inevitably, things are going to happen simultaneously. But I think that is the result of the kind of work that we've been engaged in for weeks now. And so that's all I can say about that.
What about the meetings with Iranian this Sunday?
We've had that question before. Certainly last week we addressed it. I have no specifics for you about what is occurring, and I can't confirm what will occur. But as soon as we do, and if we do, you will hear it right from this podium.
No meetings
All right, yes,
scheduled
sir.
so far.